Arjun is in a miserable position. That is not the position of Arjun, the person. That is the situation of entire mankind. That is the conflict that we all face daily, every day. So first of all, it is not about Arjun and Krishna. It is not about two persons. Arjun and Krishna are both within us. Krishna is not standing in front of Arjun. Krishna is the heart of Arjun.
We have Julius. The excerpt reads, "To he, in spiritual matters there is a simple, infallible test. Everything that proceeds from the ego is evil. Everything that proceeds from love for others is good." Then the queries are, first one, "To he twists spiritual language for his socialistic purposes very adeptly here. Then in brackets she says, though obviously the ego itself is otherness, so the whole test that he is fabricating is just a lie. But the world is full of speakers who use these kinds of spiritual phrases so masterfully. And many, including me in the past, have fallen prey to their words. How can we distinguish the real one from the fake ones? How can we use to he of this book to recognize the to he's of the world? Thank you for the guidance. You have to go deeper into the subject. You know? Someone who does not know mathematics too well in front of him, if you just put cos x by sin x is equal to tan x, he'll have no objections. Or if you say cos cube x plus sin cube x is equal to 1, he'll say, yeah, looks good and looks familiar. I saw something like this once. And he indeed did see something like that once. It's just that there was a minor difference of 1. But anyone who loves his mathematics would not fall for these tricks. He would immediately, instantaneously see through the flaw. So that's the solution, Julius. You have to know your mathematics. The moment I read these excerpts, it is very obvious that to he is just, blabbering. And it's bad blabber at that, unconvincing blabber at that. In spiritual matters, there is a simple, infallible test. Everything that proceeds from the ego is evil. False, false, totally false. Even the love for liberation comes from the ego. How can everything coming from the ego be evil? Who loves God if not the ego? Tell me, who loves God? Who loves God? Is there any entity that loves God more desperately than the ego does? So how can everything coming from the ego be evil? So that's gone. Then everything that proceeds from love for others is good. False, false, again false. Not everything that proceeds from love for others is good. Everything that proceeds from love for truth is good. And these are obvious giveaways. I'm astonished at how we are not able to just see. There have been so many people who have said, but to his language is very spiritual. I feel like asking, how? Where do you see a spiritual concept in to his language. Yes, there are distortions that you can see. And those distortions are very obvious. Tuhi is not even adept at concealing his trade. He makes it very apparent that he is a fraudster. And if somebody is falling to Tuhi, he is just paying the price for not ever being loyal and loving towards the scriptures. It is the scriptures that Tuhi is coming from. He is using not the scriptures as his ammunition. He is using your ignorance of the scriptures as his ammunition. Please understand. Scriptures cannot be sabotaged. Scriptures do not lend themselves to evil. But if you are ignorant about scriptures, what can the scriptures do about it? And then anybody can say sin cube x plus cos cube x is equal to 1. And you will say, yes, I think I have seen something like it somewhere. You be a little less lazy with your mathematics. There are certain things that you should be able to call out even in your sleep. No. Yes, I am in deep sleep, but I still know that it's not sin cube x plus cos cube x is equal to 1. Spirituality has to be as rigorous as mathematics, otherwise it will be as fatal as faulty mathematics. If spirituality, I repeat, is not as rigorous as good mathematics, then it will be as fatal as faulty mathematics. The thing with spirituality, either you have to be rigorous and exact, or you will be totally off the mark. I've often heard people saying, oh, all scriptures say the same thing and all spiritual teachers are saying the same thing. No, sir, no, not at all. It only means that you lack discernment. If you feel that all the spiritual teachers around are saying the same thing, then you are not able to differentiate between the 2 or 5 or whatever. One is saying sin x plus cos x is 1. You are saying, yeah, something like that. The other one is saying sin square x plus cos square x is 1. And you are saying, yes, something like that. The third one is saying sin cube x plus cos cube x is 1. And you are saying, yes. Same thing as what the next one is saying. 2 are absolutely wrong. And 1 is absolutely right. But we feel like saying, no, all are saying almost the same thing, Be good to others, renounce the world. This is something that all the religious teachers are saying. No. Because you do not know your maths, so you are being cheated of your money. Anybody is using the word life. Now, what does life mean? When a spiritual teacher addresses you and he says, you must do this, the first question you must ask him is, who is the one being addressed? If a spiritual teacher says, this thing is good for you, you must ask, for me? Who? And there are these simple tests to know the false teacher from the little less false one. Otherwise, we would all be sacrificed to the two he's. The problem is that of verifiability and precision. That's the problem facing spirituality. What the Upanishads say cannot really be verified experimentally at a material level. And even the nonsense that is being peddled today in the name of spirituality is unverifiable. Because both are unverifiable, so we feel both are the same. Anything that is abstract passes off in the name of spirituality. The only condition is that it has to be very, very abstract. So abstract that it cannot be understood. And if it cannot be understood, we take for granted that it is true. That's our inner test. If I cannot comprehend it, it is profound. You remember that book by Lewis Cook? What was the name? Yeah, what's the name of the book? Some book. And the book was a spiritual gem, Julius. It says, toothbrush in the jaw, jaw, brush in the tooth, tooth, brush, brush, jaw, jaw, jaw. Come and caw. Something. Now this is totally illegible to the intellect. And you may come up with the most profound verses. From a Christ, from a Krishna, from a Kabir. And they too appear incomprehensible. So what do we say? Cook and Christ are same. Lewis Cook. And Cook and Krishna are same. Because we cannot understand either of them. And that is how the Tuhis of the world manage to dupe us. They use our own ignorance. And another thing with spirituality is that unfortunately it employs a lot of words. So the speaker can go on flooding you with verbiage. And you will get very little time to analyze the verbiage. You will be carried away by the sheer flow of the words. You will have no time to detect the falseness. You will have no time to test. Therefore, books are better. In books, you can check and test statement by statement. This thing has been said, now I can pause and ponder. And I can reflect. And I can spend an entire week on one sentence. Now, this is not going to be possible with especially the teachers who rely heavily on speaking, like me. So then you have to either go back to the video, listen to it again and again, press the pause button multiple times, or you have to refer to the books and then test them sentence by sentence, word by word. Whenever something is coming to you, Julius, always insist on verifiability and falsifiability. Spirituality is not about abandoning reason. If you abandon reason, it is not that you will enter into mystical space. If you abandon reason, you know what is it that you would be left with? You would be left with your animal instincts. Reason and intellect are great because they help you override your animal instincts. The ones who say that in the path of spirituality, intellect, logic, reason are not needed, are not automatically turning mystical. They are rather turning beastly. Are you getting it? It is not that if you suppress intellect, automatically meditative understanding will sprout. You are not merely the intellect. Below the intellect lies the animal past. So intellects can be suppressed. How will you suppress your instincts and intuitions? They will be there if you don't use intellect. Rest assured that your actions and decisions will come from your instincts and intuitions. And they are far worse than intellect. Intellect surely has its limitations. But intellect is to be abjured only at a very advanced level of attainment in spirituality. Till that advanced level, intellect is of great use. So do use your reason and logic. Do not just start accepting anything in the name of faith. Faith applies only to the one who is beyond the world. To everything in the world, kindly apply only the strict and austere test of reason. Are you getting it? Faith is for that one. You can call that one as God. Do not start having faith in people. That is not called faith. That is called blind belief. Do not start having faith in your own past or your own personal knowledge or your own personal comprehension. That too is blind belief. Test, test, and test. Ask, ask, and ask. Question boldly. And have the audacity to question even the most entrenched powers and beliefs. Tuhis do not like being questioned. If they say they do not like being questioned, then interrogate them. That must be the treatment to be given to someone who is allergic to questioning. Interrogate him. No politeness is needed, rigor is needed. The genuine one would shine forth from the test of your reasoning. The false one would not be able to survive the test of reasoning. And that would save you.